The traveler stands at the threshold of the abandoned mansion, peering up at its towering, shadowed windows, which stare down like empty, watching eyes. Each window is coated in layers of dust, save for thin streaks that look suspiciously like long, bony fingers have traced patterns through the grime. A faded, crumbling gargoyle juts from the roof above, its eyes seeming to follow the traveler as they take a trembling step forward. A distant clap of thunder shakes the night, followed by a crack of lightning that lights up the mansion, revealing an overgrown path leading up to a half-rotten door barely hanging onto its hinges. For a moment, the traveler considers turning back. They could find an inn in the village nearby, spend the night in comfort, and forget they ever saw this cursed place. But a pull, some unnameable, insistent curiosity, keeps their feet moving toward the mansion, almost as if something in the shadows is urging them forward. They pause at the door, heart pounding, as an ominous stillness settles over the forest behind them. Even the rustle of leaves and the call of night creatures have gone silent, leaving only the sound of the traveler's own breath in the oppressive, thick air. As they reach out to push the door open, the wood feels strangely warm under their hand, as though it's been touched by something alive. The moment they press against it, the door swings open with a groan, revealing a grand entry hall cloaked in shadows. The ceiling rises high above, with cobwebs stretching between ornate chandeliers that look like they haven't seen light in decades. The traveler steps into the hall, and the door slams shut behind them with an echo that seems to last an eternity. A shiver runs down their spine as they realize there's no going back now. In the silence that follows, a faint, shuffling sound echoes through the hall, coming from somewhere deeper inside the mansion. They squint into the darkness, catching sight of a faint glow down one of the winding hallways. Against their better judgment, they follow the glow, footsteps echoing through the empty corridors. As they draw closer, the glow reveals itself to be a flickering candle resting on a dusty, antique table. The candle is fresh, as if someone had placed it there moments ago, and beside it lies a delicate, handwritten note. Trembling, the traveler picks it up and reads the faded ink. "Welcome, dear guest. We've been waiting for you." A chill runs down their spine. But before they can react, the candle flickers violently and a whisper drifts into the air, coming from somewhere unseen. "You'll stay with us forever." The traveler whirls around, but the hallway is empty. They begin to back away, but the floorboards groan as if they're alive, shifting underfoot. A shadow darts past them, just on the edge of sight, sending a fresh wave of terror through them. They glance back at the note in their hand, but the words have changed. Now it reads, "Don't leave. You belong here now." Heart pounding, they turn to flee, but the hallway behind them has transformed, stretching and twisting as if the mansion itself is alive, trapping them within its walls. The traveler stumbles forward, clutching the flickering candle for comfort, though its light is growing dimmer with every step. Finally, they reach a grand staircase leading up to the second floor. An unnatural chill hangs over it, and the air smells faintly of old perfume and something else, something decaying. In the dim glow, they can just make out figures at the top of the staircase, shadows that sway and move as though watching, waiting. Each figure wears clothes from another era, and each has a haunting, hollow gaze. One of them raises a hand and gestures, beckoning the traveler forward with a crooked finger. The traveler, now feeling entirely at the mercy of the mansion, slowly ascends the stairs, drawn by that eerie, unblinking gaze. Each step feels heavier than the last, as though invisible hands are weighing them down, pulling them further into the darkness. The faces of the figures at the top of the stairs come into focus, their expressions twisted in a blend of sorrow and something else, something like hunger. Finally, the traveler reaches the top, where the shadowy figures part to reveal a room at the end of the hall, its door slightly ajar. A pale, ghostly light spills from within, illuminating the floorboards with a cold, unnatural glow. The traveler feels a presence beside them, urging them to enter, and though every instinct screams to turn and flee, they feel compelled to walk forward, as though guided by invisible hands. Inside the room, they find an antique mirror standing in the center, its frame ornate and gilded with tarnished gold. A thin layer of dust coats the glass, but as they step closer, they see their own reflections slowly materialize. Only, it's not quite them. Their reflection wears the same clothes, but their face is drawn and pale, eyes sunken and lifeless, as though drained of all warmth and vitality. And then, in a breathless instant, the reflection smiles. A scream rises in the traveler's throat as they stumble back, but the door slams shut behind them, trapping them in the room. The last thing they see before the candle's flame flickers out is the shadowy figures closing in, faces twisted in unnatural smiles. The mansion falls silent once more, leaving no trace of the traveler except for the fresh candle now resting on the dusty table in the hall, and a new note scrawled beneath it. "Welcome, dear guest. We've been waiting for you. Do you think our traveler will ever find a way out, or have they become just another spirit bound to the mansion's dark secrets?"